Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL. I am Tasteless, and with me is my hetero life partner, Artosis. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellently after those fruit dealer games yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
So awesome, man.
Wow.
If you guys missed the fruit dealer games versus, I don't even care who the other guy was. Fruit dealer blew him out of the water. Actually, it was Next Lift Forever, and he did play very well, but the fruit dealer played so impressively. It was just mind-blowing. I would really highly recommend you watch every game of that match because each one was unique and special.
Each one was better than the last, except the first, which was the best of all.
Today we got HopeTorture, formerly known as Into the Rainbow, against OGS Ensnare. OGS, of course, the team that Spunky runs, one of the best teams in Korea, one of the larger teams in Korea.
And HopeTorture, he's actually on StarTale. New team coming up. We don't really have full roster information yet. A lot of rumors about who's going to join that team. But two of the best teams going at it here for the other spot. We're definitely going to see a TVZ Finals on Saturday. But who will it be?
Today it's kind of a toss-up. I think today's matchup is going to be a little bit more balanced than yesterday's matchup. As you can see here on the screen, Live Forever just got slayed by the master dealer of the fruit.
He got slain, man.
He got totally slain. Now, HopeTorture, he was a Protoss player back when he was known as Into the Rainbow in Starcraft 1. He's a Terran player in Starcraft 2. Now, OGS Ensnare, I think he has one of the largest reputations in Korea.
Ensnare actually has done a lot in Korea. The foreigner scene, the non-Korean scene, doesn't know as much about him, but in the first LAN they had here, that really, really big LAN, he actually got third place behind Fruit Dealer and Kisu. So he's been good for a very long time, and a lot of Koreans think he's actually the best TVT player in the country. He has great records against everyone on Battle.net. But, of course, HopeTorture is a sick, masterful StarCraft 1 pro gamer, so it's going to be hard either way. I really have no idea who's going to take this down.
In fact, I even went up to Spunky before the match, and I said, what do you think the outcome's going to be? And he said, honestly, it's going to be 50-50. Anybody could take this. You know, one thing that he pointed out, actually, that I thought was very true and insightful is that Rainbow doesn't seem to play like he's going to go into the late game.
Yeah.
He seems to want to play early to mid-game, and then he wants to end it there.
He's a micro player. Yeah. He loves to multitask. He loves to micro, and you can do more of that in the early and early mid-game. So he may try to finish off Ensnare before Ensnare is ready to be finished off, and we saw what happens when you do that when we saw Hyperdub against TLO.
Yeah. So one thing about Ensnare, he knows so many builds. I think he's probably the most well-versed with different Terran openers. Every time I watch the guy play, he does different stuff. I think HopeTorture, his style is a little bit, I wouldn't say limited, but it's very focused in one direction. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Terran versus Terran, by the way, a great mirror matchup in StarCraft 2. Really interesting the way that you have to balance tanks, Marauders, Vikings, and, of course, Ravens play a big role in the late game if you do get to the late game.
Yeah. I'm sitting here going over in my head, who's going to win this? You know, we have Ensnare. He's done a little bit more than HopeTorture has in StarCraft 2, but at the same time, you know, he doesn't have as much experience, especially of a tournament of this level. If you win this match, you get at least $20,000 plus US dollars. If you win the finals, of course, you get like $90,000. It's completely crazy.
We are crazy at GOMTV. We are giving away so much money for first place.
Yeah, and that's going to put so much pressure on Ensnare.
Yeah.
On the other hand, HopeTorture's already won so much money from StarCraft 1. He's been in the spotlight so many times, so many matches like this. So it's really hard to say who's going to take who.
Look, something appeared right below our desk right here. It says that the Season 1 final is going to be live in Jangchang Gymnasium.
Yeah.
So if you guys are going to come here, I keep saying this, but last time in the Classic Season 1, there were a few people that actually did show up to this studio thinking it was going to be the finals, and that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, that's so
sad. The finals are not going to be held here. I know I've said it several times in the cast, but I want to make sure that everybody hears it. You have to go to this location that's down here at the bottom of the screen. That's where it is. Look it up. It's a much larger area. We expect a lot of people. If you want special seating, you can email us at GOMTV. We'll give you special seating because we're just nice guys like that. But definitely come out and bring some fruit. If you're supporting Fruit Dealer, I want to see people holding bananas and apples and stuff like that. I want people waving watermelons around in the air and everything. And by the way, something else changed below our desk. Looks like with the preliminary registration.
That's right. You got to register right away. It's only open till Sunday. So go ahead, register for that. If you're going to be in Korea on the 9th and 10th of October, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're a non-Korean, you come. You're kind of like a little spectacle over there. Everyone's looking at you like, oh, my God, is he any good? And they put you on special computers with English-speaking clients. It's a fun time.
It's definitely fun. You have to register if you're going to participate in the GSL Season 2. Register, please, because I would be so sad if I heard somebody fly all the way out here and not actually sign up. So definitely sign up. Anybody can play, okay? We don't limit anybody. We're going to go to the players now. Here it is, HopeTorture, formerly known as Into the Rainbow. He's 2-0'd everybody.
Yeah, he's pretty deadly. He took out Estrella in the first round, Keepingware in the second, Check Prime in the third, and Kisu in the fourth. That was a T, a P, a Z, and a P. So he is quite well-rounded, but we haven't seen a lot of his good TVT. Really, the guy he played in the first round, Estrella, was such a lower level than him.
Yeah,
it was like the most one-sided series of the entire GSL. So we really don't know exactly what we're going to see here, but he is pumped up. He wants to win this so badly. So badly. We got a lot of fans here for. So you see, it says Rainbow there. He was formerly known as Into the Rainbow. It's the Fire Bear guy. Yeah.
Into the Rainbow, now known as HopeTorture. We're referring to him as HopeTorture now, though. But if you played Starcraft 1, you know him as that guy. He has kind of been a dark horse in this tournament, actually. I remember that first day, I'll never forget it, of the GSL when you and me were casting. I said, wait a minute, is that Rainbow in the booth? Oh, no, you said it. And I was like, yeah, it is. Oh, my God. So, nobody, you didn't tell anybody who was signing up. We don't know who he's been training with, so it's pretty crazy. Now we go to OGS Ensnare.
Now Ensnare, he took out Sopiaware in the first round, Bleach in the second, or Bleacha, as the Street Fighter voice likes to call him. Any Pro Prime in the third, Hongan Prime in the fourth. Mostly Protosses, except for that first round Zerg win. And he also hasn't lost a single game in the GSL so far. Pretty interesting.
Yes.
Two unbeaten guys going against each other. That's going to change for one of them in just a moment.
That's very true. Only one of these guys can move on. This is such a pivotal moment as far as the prize money goes. There's so much money on the line. I mean, if you do an all-in and it doesn't work, man, you're going to have nightmares about that for the rest of your life. As you can see, we got a lot of fans showing up. Very talented artists, an OGS Ensnare supporter here.
That's right. He's in a siege tank, as we see.
There he is, right in the siege tank.
Ensnare does like his siege tanks.
He does. Ensnare, he was one of the guys I was hearing the most about, when we were out here in Korea, about who's probably the best Korean. A lot of people were saying Ensnare was easily the best Terran.
Yeah.
And then most other people were just saying Sokisu, formerly known as Tester, was probably the best player overall.
Yeah, I've heard mostly that as well. Of course, there's also Fruit Dealer up there, but being Zerg, he got sidelined a little bit, hasn't won a lot of tournaments recently.
Yeah.
Now's going to be his chance on Saturday, but he's got to get through whichever monster comes up to face, and these guys are both definitely a level above Fruit Dealer's opponent from yesterday.
Absolutely. By the way, special thanks to our sponsors at TG Sambo and Intel. Thank you, Blizzard, for making such a great game. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in at home. We love you guys. We love StarCraft. We love sharing our passions with you. And
that's what we do.
Did I cover everything?
I think you did. Well, Picari
Thank you,
Sweat,
Picari Sweat, for your
so
free
delicious.
Drinks. It's so delicious. You know what?
I love it. Let's have some now.
Did I mention I'm on Team EG? Did you know that?
I knew, yeah. That's
good,
really delicious.
Now let's put him back on here. Let's rotate him. So the product placement right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll even give the Korean one just in case anyone's watching us that speaks Korean.
Got it covered right there.
Yeah.
But honestly, though, guys, we really do appreciate you tuning in, and we really do appreciate the sponsorship because without without sponsorship like this, events like this wouldn't be possible. We're going to be getting the maps up in a minute here.
That's right.
But, I feel like in Terran vs. Terran, there's so much to talk about. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to list the maps now because I feel like we have a lot. Beat me to it. All right, we got Metalopolis, Lost Temple, Xel'Naga Caverns, Delta Quadrant, and Steps of War.
Wow. 5 maps for a Terran versus Terran. It doesn't really matter which maps we play because there are no imbalances in a mirror matchup.
That's very true.
Except the Mule.
You know what's funny, actually? Is they both excluded Desert Oasis, and they both excluded Blistering Sand.
First time we've seen that in the tournament. Both players deciding those maps were not the ones they wanted to play. Both maps play a lot differently than the other maps here. So, good choices by both players.
Really, you know, playing a lot of since I've been playing a lot of Terran recently, Blistering Sands I find to be such a pain in TVT. It's a really tough matchup to learn because there's so many points where you can get contained, and then it's very hard to get out. Plus, the destructible rocks allow for a lot of different kind of 2-racks rush builds you can't normally anticipate if you were on a more ordinary map. So I don't blame them for getting rid of that. And, of course, Desert Oasis is a whole animal of its own. I mean, to just try to figure out that map in any matchup, frankly, it takes extra training. So no shocker that they eliminated that there. Now, note, the first 2 maps on here, the first 2 maps on here are 4-player maps. So that means if we're going to see any risky play, it's probably not going to be on these first 2 maps.
Or if it is, it's going to be even more risky than normal.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true.
And that sometimes really cloaks the mystery.
Yes.
Because
cloaks like a banshee.
Who's going to proxy racks on Metalopolis? You know, it's so big. What if you're cross positions? You're not going to expect it, and that sometimes makes it more powerful. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of cheese. I think we're actually going to see some solid games, and we're going to see who's better at TVT, who's the best Terran in Korea. Well,
and the countdown started. We're about to find out. I'm so excited. Here we go. Let's check out HopeTorture against OGS Ensnare right now. Down here in the red, we have the player. He was known as Into the Rainbow. Now he's changed his ID to HopeTorture.
Tasteless.
That was Ehan timing there from me. Up here at the top center, we have rather a newer player to the scene. He is
OGS Ensnare.
OGS Ensnare, a member of the OGS team.
That's right.
It's true.
Ensnare, wasn't that a queen ability?
It was.
In StarCraft 1?
I didn't even know there was a queen in StarCraft 1. I never used it.
It flew, and it had a fungal growth that didn't do damage. It was a pretty awesome
Yeah, when you think about it, fungal growth is really just an upgraded version of the Ensnare ability.
Well, they're both green in area of effect from Zerg. I think that's really all they have in common.
Stop stuff from moving and everything like that.
Slows it down.
Slows it down, yeah. Affecting mobility. Now note the placement here for the depot. He's not walling in, but the reason why he puts it right here is because if you look at the vision, it just spots any probe from slipping in here. You can't sneak a worker in here.
Yeah.
And he still saves time by sending this SCV out here instead of all the way over there.
Very true. And normally we don't see as many wall-ins in this matchup. If you need to wall in later, you just throw up some buildings at that time. You know, there's not Zerglings, there's not Zealots. Really no reason, you know. Marines aren't fast enough to run by Marines, so wall-in's not as useful in TVT.
Early scout here coming from OGS Ensnare. You can see that whatever build he's going to do is clearly dictated by the way his opponent opens up.
And it's funny, these guys are actually so well mirrored right now. Let's take a look there, and they are pretty much right on top of each other as far as building goes.
Orbital command on the way. Always get your orbital command at roughly 15 supply. That's for the noobs at home. Are you a noob? Actually, he got his at 17. Maybe I'm the noob. Got it a little bit later there.
Well,
oh, what if I'm a noob?
Well, if he loses, don't worry. HopeTorture is right. All right. Obviously.
SCV comes up here. Oh, he actually backs up. He had an opening. He could have gone up that way.
Yeah, Marine's pretty quick, though. He would have lost the SCV rather quickly. I like the idea of going back there. You know, what is he really going to find? You're not going to tech until you actually kill your opponent's SCV anyways.
Yeah, that's very true.
We have a factory going up for Ensnare. Yet HopeTorture hasn't shown us what he wants to do quite yet.
What's it going to be, HopeTorture? Note that they're both actually checking around the outside of their base for different types of, cheese that could happen. Whoa.
Fast expansion.
That's actually shocking considering these positions. They're pretty close.
Yeah, he in fact stopped mining gas at 60 and went ahead and made that command center. So that is very interesting. And in fact, as we see, he's going to make another barracks. Another 2 barracks. So this looks actually like some builds we saw very early in the beta, notably from players like Maro, who just decided, okay, quick command center, a bunch of barracks, make Marines. That should hold anything.
One thing you can do with this is you can get really fast Marauders, and that messes some of these guys up who are trying to get tanks right away. And we see 4 Marines coming over here from OGS Ensnare.
Bunker being made by HopeTorture. He's only got 3 Marines, though.
I don't know if it's going to get done in time. No, these Marines actually stopped. Had they gone any further, he might have actually been able to do significant damage.
Yeah, if he had gone straight in, that actually would have been very scary. Could have changed the entire game around. But here we go. He's in there.
Oh, my God. It didn't complete.
The Hellion comes up. That's huge that it didn't complete.
Oh, my God. And the command center used that SCV to make the bunker.
Wow.
This could be bad.
He still has 4 Marines alive. This is huge for him. And the SCVs coming out. HopeTorture in a lot of trouble, losing so many SCVs. Ensnare getting way ahead. Oh, more SCVs going down.
Damn.
Yuck. Let's take a look. Yuck, that is gross, man.
Yuck?
And 13 SCVs left for him. 21 for Ensnare. Into the rain, or rather, HopeTorture. Cannot be happy with this situation.
HopeTorture did lose some SCVs, and it doesn't look like OGS Ensnare is going to stop being aggressive anytime soon. He's got a starport, barracks making double Marines, and a factory. So I think he's going to go for the next phase of the push. Now, if HopeTorture can get a few more Marauders out here, actually, no, excuse me, he's just going to go for Marines. That's interesting. Normally we see Marauders with this type of build.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. He's just getting upgrades for him. I think that he may be thinking, okay, I'm pretty far behind at this point. I need to do something weird, and this is weird. Looks like he's going to engage here. A medevac is out, though. HopeTorture, you are in some serious trouble.
Stim is not yet complete. Oh, now it has completed, excuse me. But he is going to chase him back. He might have also gotten those Marines just so that he... Oh, here we go. He's going to chase.
Can he catch that dropship? It has a tank in it. No. No, he can't.
No, he cannot.
And these Marines are already so badly hurt. A lot of SCVs lost once again. And right now, Ensnare making a Banshee. So this is not where he wants to be, man.
Well, if Ensnare doesn't do more damage quickly, he's going to get really far behind this game. I mean, well, he's actually already almost pretty far behind. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
Oh my, HopeTorture. Yeah, it does have the double mule, so that's going to help him to at least not be out of the game yet. But still. In fact, his economy is bigger. If we take a look at the income tab, HopeTorture still has a bigger economy. That is actually how good the mule is.
That mule turns out to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Ensnare's edging out. He doesn't have a command center yet. He's really committing to this.
Yeah, definitely wants to kill him.
The longer that HopeTorture stays alive, the higher his chances are of winning, essentially. He has switched to the Marauder tech phase. Banshee on the move.
Right now, combat shields being made for HopeTorture. Definitely committing to a lot of Marines, but also starting his Marauders up. So it looks like he just wants a Marine Marauder, roll over the attack of Ensnare. That seems to be the plan right now, but with a careful siege tank push, I don't know.
The siege tank push could be pretty solid. He doesn't have enough Marauders, I think, to deal with this.
No, not yet. Certainly not. And with those Banshees coming in, yeah, this is just not good at all. Banshees can kite Marines for a very long time. Marauders going down.
He actually stimmed to run away. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that is pretty terrible. He is in so much trouble. Here we go. This may be the final attack of the game. And Ensnare, he's got a lot of Marines, a lot of siege tanks. Here comes HopeTorture from the bottom. But Banshee, siege tanks, Marines, and a medevac. Easy win for Ensnare. GG from HopeTorture. Quick first game.
GMFNG. That was unbelievable. I really am impressed with his ability to commit to that attack. That was, I mean, he did not waver in what he thought he had to do. He didn't like attack and then say, no, you know what, I'm going to expand. He stuck with it and it worked. And look, he's going to drink some of that delicious Pocari Sweat.
It was very decisive. And you need to be decisive if you want to be a top-of-the-line StarCraft player. In fact, sometimes it's better to be decisive and make the wrong choice than be indecisive and make the right choice.
That's actually very true. You are truly wise.
Thank you.
And handsome. You're just so cool all around.
At work.
I do not agree. I don't normally want to criticize players at this level, but I don't think it makes any sense, to expand when you're fast expand when you're that close to your opponent.
Yeah, you know, he scouted him and then made the command center, so it's kind of a weird choice. Yeah, and a marine attack with the Hellion is actually what cost him the game. Yeah, if that bunker had gone up, game would have been completely different.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
but we'll have to see. He would not lie. He's an honest guy. Yeah, I feel like there's a million different things that HopeTorture could have done, and he didn't do any of them. He just stuck with this quick expanding build. And if OGS Ensnare had expanded himself, HopeTorture would have stayed ahead, but OGS Ensnare was so committed to that attack. He did it really well.
He did.
Yeah.
Now, what will HopeTorture have planned for the next game? It's Lost Temple. So
there's a lot of stuff you can do on LT.
Yeah.
You can do a drop play is even more powerful on Lost Temple than it is on like Metalopolis, for instance, what we just saw. So we could see some drop play, and
I think Tank Viking a very good choice on this map.
Yes, Tank Viking's quite good.
And of course, you can go ahead and just do weird things with Marauders, start dropping them into your opponent's base and stuff like that if he texts too quickly. I don't know, but it looks like the game is about to start. So
let's get ready for some TVT action.